Good evening, everyone. Thanks everybody for joining us. And it's good to be back. Yeah, I went to a few places before I came back. If you guys follow me on LinkedIn, you probably realize I did quite a little bit of travel. I traveled from here to Singapore, Malaysia, China, Hong Kong, and India before I came back. And before I came back to Melbourne, actually, I was stopped at Melbourne airport and go straight to Sydney last week. Finally, I'm home. Okay. I love the Kubernetes cloud native world. That's where I created the community called the KubeSmart AI community, trying to help more people. So it's good to be back. Yeah. This is our number 63 meetup in Australia. So we also have the meetup groups across other cities. But Melbourne is the most active one. We just got in Australia, we just got 4,200 members. Thank you everybody for your support. Yeah, without your support, we can't make it happening again and again. Okay. So a couple of challenges I have is like I find the sponsors, find the active volunteers, find the right speakers. You guys all can help us. Yeah, seriously, you can be volunteer. You can join us as a speaker, or you can help us to find a sponsor to support us. How's the pizza? I heard somebody say it's pretty good. It's better. It's better than the last one. Right?
We had it with Domino's.
Yeah.
Unless they,
Yeah.
like a massive discount.
Oh, okay.
Seems to be better.
Yeah. We are. Yeah, we are glad we got a double SO to support us. Yeah.
Better they can sponsor the next year.
Yeah, you guys can help us find the right sponsor, get us more freebies, plus awesome food. Okay, how you can help? It's easy. You can see you just visit the website, and I'm still trying to build optimize the website. I'm trying to put everything on the landing page. So I already moved the. I used to have a separate link. People need to go everywhere to find the right information. Now, if you scan the QR code or visit the website, KSUG.AI, you find the latest upcoming events. You can find what else? How to become a sponsor, how to become a speaker, how to join us as a volunteer. You guys love taking photos. Yeah, taking photos, you can upload to the photo album. I just added another link in the first page. So if you visit the website, you can find everything you need. And not to mention, one of the big things I constantly say is never pay full price for learning, for certification, for events. You can find all the latest learning, certification, event discount code, etc. All from all the website. Okay, I'm still trying to optimize. I'm not good at building the website. I'm not a front-end developer. I'm not a developer at all. Okay, I'm using all the latest tools like Amazon Q, Amazon Hero, Google Gemini, anti-gravity. I'm pretty sure you guys are also using some of the popular tools. So far, the website still need more improvement. Yeah, if anyone want to volunteer to help us optimize the website, that is also good. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, tonight we got some really awesome stuff to share with you guys. Have you anyone don't know me? Anyone new here? Okay. Oh, great. We got quite a lot of people new here. Yeah, my name is 𝐍𝐄𝐑 𝐏𝐀𝐘. I don't do anything except helping the community. So that's how I built the community. In about 3 years, we got in total 200,000 plus followers, members, part of our community. So if you want to follow me on LinkedIn, feel free to follow. This one can only follow, okay? I got 54,000 followers. Do you guys know maximum 30,000 connection? Once you hit 30,000 connection, you can't connect. But if you visited our website, KSUG.AI, if you scroll down to the bottom, you can find that one is you can connect. The other one you can follow. I do have two LinkedIn, okay? The second one also about 6,000 followers. Okay, still growing. I need you guys' help. Okay, how I can find a sponsor? I need more volunteers, more followers to persuade the WSO2 or someone else to support us, to support the food, drinks, and to keep us continuous running. Okay, please follow us. Follow our LinkedIn pages, react, repost, comment. Okay, that's the only thing I want to ask you guys. If you guys want to join me to learn, yeah, there are lots of stuff you can learn. Anyone know AWS Community Builders program? I know Rashendra also one of them. Yeah, there are a lot of the community builder programs. I'm pretty, two of these, my favorite. AWS Community Builders and the Google Developer Experts. That's two of my favorites. Yeah, that's why I only keep these two active. I used to be Microsoft MVP, also CNCF ambassador. I no longer renew these. Okay, and I love Kubernetes. I'm actually the first one globally become fully certified. Okay, it's not that I'm doing good. It's I'm lucky. Okay, I did the fifth one. That's a beta program, beta exam. Just after I completed the fifth exam, they announced the program called kubestrong. Okay, anyone hold of the kubestrong thing? So basically, you just pass all the 5 Kubernetes certification exams, and then you can get to the blue jacket like this. There is a sign, there is a digital badge. Also, you got the title. Oh, it's pretty good to show off, okay? But does it help your job? No. You don't want to, you don't want to wear in the blue jacket, expecting you can find a job after you pass the exam. That's not the case. My suggestion, if you want to focus on landing your next exciting job, just do the CKA, okay? That's the most important one, can help you landing your next exciting job. If you have the budget to do another one, CKS. These two are most important, okay? I've done enough talking here. I created 2 of the popular community program. One is AWS channel. Anyone learning AWS? Yeah, you should follow the AWS channel. It's a company LinkedIn page. And then we also created a kubestrong LinkedIn page. Basically, kubestrong is more for multi-cloud. And the AWS strong just purely for AWS cloud learning certification. People sharing their experiences. We share the learning certification discount code, etc. Okay. I love to collect the digital badges. Okay. I did all AWS certifications. I did 15. Now you only need a 12 to become a golden jacket. Anyone, you guys are hold of the golden jacket. But basically, you pass all AWS certifications, and you got the option to find. Yeah, Rashendra is another one. Yeah, he's also one of the guy. Did the all AWS, all Kubernetes. So we got the blue jacket. We also got the golden jacket. Yeah, it's more just inspiring more people to follow us to keep level up, to finding your next exciting job. But do you need to do all the certifications to find a job? No, not at all. So I did the AWS, I did the Google, Microsoft, and also even Oracle Cloud and Alibaba Cloud. One of the big things, if you want to have only one takeaway for tonight, you don't need every certificate to find your job, okay? Just focusing on the one really can help you landing your next exciting job. So as I mentioned earlier, CKS, EKS, these two are very important. If you do AWS Solution Architect Associate, that's one of the very popular one. If you do Google Cloud Engineer, that's one of the most popular ones. Yeah, seriously, you don't have to do every certification to find a job. People are doing certification, they love to do it. I find some other people, they did over 100. They did a lot more than me, okay? I'm not the most certified one. I did the 60, after 60, I stopped the counting. I stopped doing the renewing, okay? I shifted my focus to helping more people, okay? And if you haven't followed us, if you're forced to join us, I want to say, I'm running the largest cluster in the world. We got a 200,000 plus nodes globally. If you know Kubernetes, you understand the node pool, node groups. So we got the 7 largest node pools and node groups. and join us. Most of these are LinkedIn or LinkedIn groups. And we got a multi-cloud certification, we got a newsletter, and also some of the LinkedIn pages. We also have a Discord. You can join us. A few days ago, one of the big things I noticed, people want to level up, want to do certification, but it's too expensive. CK $445. So from our Discord, I constantly finding some sponsors to supporting us with some free exam vouchers. So is that last week or previous week? I was in India at a KubeCon. We did one of the campaign is helping our friends to get a certificate for free. We give away one free CK exam voucher, one free CKS, and one free CMP. The cloud, the platform engineer, each one costs $440. We also give away some Kubernetes Bible books. Okay, so that requires us to find the right sponsor to supporting us. I don't have money. If I'm putting my own pocket money to buy exam voucher to support someone else, my wife will kill me. Okay, that doesn't help. Yeah, I need to find the sponsor to support our community. You guys all can help. Okay, just follow us, our LinkedIn pages. Okay, react, repost, comment. That can help us a lot. Okay. And slides, photos. As I said, yeah, I put the photo album also in our landing page. If you scan the QR code or visit the website, you can find there is one link is a photo album. You can upload your photos. You can download the photos. Why this is important? Yeah, we need everyone's help to keep us actively running. Okay, that's where you can download the photo. You can do LinkedIn posts that help us to promote, to attract more sponsors supporting us. Okay. Tonight we got some really awesome talks. The first one, we got Kanchana from WSO2. He will talk about the agents onboarded internal developer platform, the OpenChoreo. Anyone hold of this? Well, you will learn a lot of, yeah, you hold previously, okay. And the second one, we also have Ryan from nadrama.com. He volunteered to do a sharing session about the open source project. It's called Podplane.dev. Hopefully it's a great learning for everybody. Okay, before I hand you over to our first speaker, I want to highlight a couple of stuff. It's kind of a repeating, yeah, but you guys know what I'm doing, why this is important. So astronaut, AWS astronaut, that's our first community created a certification program focused on just AWS certifications. We're trying to help more people. And then we got a kubestrong. Those are powered, created by our community, okay? We have a web page. We feature all the people. I will show you shortly, yeah. So we feature the people who are fully certified on AWS to our global map. We got in total probably over 250 globally. And recently we just got someone like a 25 years old. She's already fully certified on AWS. And then someone beat the lady, become the 24 years old. Yeah, the fully certified on AWS. Yeah. So as I say, I personally don't encourage you to do all certifications, but if you did, we will feature you on our global map. That can potentially help someone else. And then we have the kubestrong, that's even harder. How hard it is? You need all AWS plus all Kubernetes, okay? We also have quite a lot of people featured on our kubestrong map. So to make this community running, I have to say thanks to our volunteers. Previously we actually got quite a lot of more volunteers, and now we only have a few. So Louisa, she's helping us remotely for the online scene, okay? And we got Rashendra here. Yeah, let's give him a round of applause. And we also have Bottom here. He recently joined us. Yeah, thank you for supporting us and myself. Yeah, from the beginning. Okay, except I'm traveling. Otherwise, I will be here. And our sponsors, AWS is our long-term sponsor who offer us the space, Well, this is awesome office to allow us to meet every month here. And if you haven't noticed, we actually booked the whole year, every month, the first Wednesday. Yeah. Welcome to join us. You can register the next event. Next event, I think that's the 5th August. Okay. In the WSO too. For supporting us. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Yeah, we need a WSO to support us more. Maybe in the coming months. Yeah. And again, yeah, we do need more sponsors supporting us. Okay. Did you miss the last promotion? Linux Foundation last week, just finished. Always people ask the promotion ended. They keeps asking me, "Hey, Yon, do you still have the 60% off or 75% off?" I said, "I send you email. I send all the announcements from our LinkedIn pages all everywhere." It's kind of like I keep spamming everybody from all the list, but still a lot of people miss. If you do the certification, definitely never pay for price. If I discover any latest deal loaning certifications, I share in the website. I also send an email from our subscription list. So if you don't want to miss it, if you visit our website for the first time, should pop up a window. You can put your email, and then you can get notified. If you don't like the email, you can always unsubscribe anyway. Anyone doing FinOps? I started to learn. I just did the one part of the FinOps for AI. They renamed it to AI value. In my opinion, over the last few years, I did cloud learning, I did the DevOps learning, I did the Kubernetes learning. I did a lot, right? The next big thing here, the cost is a bigger problem. And a lot of people keep running the Kubernetes. You can easily spin up a EC2 instance or EKS cluster out. Come on, yeah. When the GPU workloads, the AI workloads comes in, the cost is huge. So that's why FinOps is also very important. Yeah, we got a 20% of discount code for everybody if you want to do the certification for FinOps. Anyone know FinOps is also part of a Linux Foundation. They also call FinOps Foundation, but it's part of the Linux, the group. Okay. Tonight, quiz time. That's one of our best part. We don't want to skip this. Yeah. Towards the end, after both of the sessions, we will test you guys. Okay. If you guys can answer the question correctly fast enough, we will give away some really nice swags. Okay. What we have here, I got a bag of my own collection and also WSO to bring some t-shirts here. And then the drama.com also bring some, I don't know what's that stuff called, but something everyone should have. Okay, posters, yeah. Yeah, thank you guys for supporting us and stay active to supporting us. Hopefully we'll bring more, exciting learning talks and the freebies to support you all. One thing, especially for you guys are new here. I built something, there is a one weekend, I spent some time using the Vibe coding. I joined one of the hackathons. What I did is how I can track if our community friends are actively helping us. Okay, that means if you supporting us, let's say you visit our website, you follow our LinkedIn page, you liked our post, it will be seen on our LinkedIn page, in our leaderboard. Okay, if your name here, we will give you away swags. Okay, that's not an option. That's must. Okay, your name has to be on our list before we give away the freebies. Okay, I hope you guys understand. You guys can support us, so we can support you more. Okay, so what it looks like, how to get to the leaderboard. Yeah, it's pretty simple. Yeah, if I click here, view leaderboard. Yeah, that's what it looks like. So if I move here, so we featured some of the heroes from our webpage. Does that work? Oh, come on. Okay. Yeah, some of the people, how to to be featured on our heroes page. The two options, one is actively supporting us. Your name will be always on the top, okay? You can filter by the last 7 days, the last 14 days or 28 days, or you donate us the free exam modules. That's how we can help our friends get the free exam modules, okay? Some of them donate us free exam modules, so we can help more people. You think the exam modules are going to expire in 2 days? That's way useless, right? People donated us 2 days ago, say expire today, and we helped 3 people. Seriously, if you go to exam module, even about to expire, you can potentially help someone else, okay? That's one thing, you know, our community trying to help more people. And now I'm going to show you the heroes leaderboard before I'm handing it over to Kanchana for the first talk. So how to get to the leaderboard? You just click each one of the links here. AWS channel, that's one of the popular LinkedIn page. We just got 16,000 followers. And if you click a view as a member, normally you guys will be viewed as a member. You can find, yeah, this is the one, the lady, you got 316 likes. Yeah, she's one of the youngest female AWS channel, okay? And all you need to do is just click a like, follow our LinkedIn page, okay? That's one of these. And there is another one, is called kubestrong. kubestrong even more popular, okay? We got 36,000 followers. Yeah, similarly, if you click a view as a member, you can find some of the popular one. Yeah, we got 706. You know, we're helping people to save money for certification. Completely free, people like us, right? 760 plus likes. And more information about the kubestrong, golden kubestrong program, etc. Similarly, if you do like, your name will be here. Let me show you. And we also have another one, is 𝐍𝐄𝐑 okay. So let me show you the leaderboard. I want to see if any one of your names are listed here. Okay, last week I was in Sydney, almost every attendee's name here. Seriously, I'm not kidding, okay. But Sydney is smaller, yeah. The community, I don't know why. Sydney community is like only like 1/4 of the size, or maybe even less sometimes. So how you can, yeah, you actually can filter by yesterday, and you can filter by last 28 days. For me, pretty simple, yeah. I just filter by last 28 days. Any one of your names listed here. I know some of the guys, they are actively helping us. You can get all the scores. How to get to the highest score? You just like, a comment, a repost. Each action will get a point. Comment, get more points. Because the LinkedIn algorithms, you know, it's like the comment, okay? Like the comment more, okay? Did I find anyone's name listed here? But anyway, your name, yeah, if you did help us, it take about 15 minutes to be appear on our leaderboard, okay? So back here, yeah, that's one thing I'm hoping every one of you can help us. Then we can support more of our community friends. We can get more sponsors, more freebies, more free exam modules supporting everybody. Okay. Yeah, did I click again? So just to highlight tonight, the 2 talks are really awesome. You don't want to leave early before you complete the quiz, okay? And the freebies is here. I got a 2 box of the freebies. I'm making sure everybody can have something. Do you guys like this one or the second one? Either one generated by AI tools. Yeah, the second one you like? Well, let's do a vote. Yeah. Who liked the first one? The AI generated. Not many people like. What about the second one? Yeah, looks like slightly more people like. I don't know why. I'm the first one generated by Gemini. Second one generated using the OpenAI. So I used to use a lot of the Gemini to generate images. But recently, I find that Gemini is behind. Seriously, I feel like it's behind. Most of my LinkedIn posts are also written by OpenAI, not the Gemini anymore. Previously, I used Gemini. I paid like $20 per month, but now I started to pay OpenAI because I think OpenAI performs better, doing a good job. So like most of people voted, the second picture actually is better. And I'm going to share the whole slides anyway. You can follow us all of these. So now we're going to shift to our first topic. Let's give Kanchana a big round of applause. And I'm going to stop the sharing. Oh, good. Okay.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for the opportunity once again to come up here and talk about OpenChoreo. I think some of you all were here. I can recognize some of the faces when we did the last time. Very first time I was talking about OpenChoreo was at the very first time was at the Deloitte's office, where when OpenChoreo was like 0.06 or something like that. Wasn't even really ready. We didn't have a UI. We only had the backend. We were just getting started with the project. So quick update on where the project is at. I think even from the first one, I mentioned that the idea is to donate it to CNCF, which is also a huge process, by the way. You have to go through certain things. You have to hand over all the trademarks. You have to hand over the copyrights. So we had a product internally called Choreo, a SaaS product. So including all that, we had to hand over, and it's a huge process. But we wanted the community to benefit. One of the ethos at WSO2 is that every product that we create create open source, so the entire community can benefit, and it's 100% open source. That means whether you buy licensing, not licensing, whether you buy commercial support from us or not, it's available with all the features. Kind of bit like Rancher as well, right? You know the difference between Rancher products and Red Hat. Red Hat has open source a lot, great committed to open source, but some of their commercial supported versions have additional features that you don't get in the community edition, right? So the topic today, I guess the one last thing I forgot to mention is that we are now in GA. We went GA about 2 months ago when WSO2 had the conference in Austin. So since then, they have releases 1.1, which is the one that I'm actually today going to be talking about. Everyone is talking about AI and especially when it comes to internal developer platform also, they're asking, what are you offering other than just the platform itself? So we have added AI agents already inbuilt to the platform. Obviously, you can decide whether you want to use them or not use them. Entirely up to you because it's 100% open source, right? So hence why I called the topic today agents on onboarded internal developer platform. If you had known about other internal developer platform, some actually kind of falls into the category of portals rather than real platform. For example, Backstage. We also use Backstage as one of the UIs to support what we are doing. But then there are obviously others. There are commercial ones like Port and Cortex and so on and so forth, and then does offer the full platform capability as well. Obviously, you know me, so I don't need to go a lot of details, but my contact details are there if you do want to write and ask me anything. I'm happy to answer any questions in the break as well. So I kind of, I think most of you all obviously know what an AI agent is, but I use these cartoons to now explain things. And so the one on the left-hand side, I call Grumpy Architect. That's how the website name comes as well. It's been a mini project that I've been wanting to do for a while. And the idea is to, like in layman terms, when people ask what's an AI agent is, what the agent can do, because I think I didn't put the next one. A lot of people today are creating AI agents just look like a cron job, right? And to be honest, this is not part of the talk, but if you are actually just creating the cron job in an AI agent, you're actually wasting a lot of token dollars. So watch out if you're going to be doing that, because you shouldn't be doing that, right? The AI agent should be fully autonomous, that actually can go talk to the tools and skills that you provide and actually go do real stuff and then improve itself, right? And that's, at least my definition, that's an agent, because otherwise you can just run a cron job and get the job done, right? Little bit about OpenChoreo for people may have not heard about OpenChoreo before. It's an internal developer platform. Why we call it internal developer platform rather than a portal? It's not just a cataloging tool. It's not. It has all the cataloging capability, but it's more than a cataloging tool. That means it brings in the engineering tooling that you need to build, manage, operate your environment. Obviously, the focus is Kubernetes, but obviously as the project gets more mature, they'll probably add more other features as well. Given it's open source, it's actually also open to bring in plugins. For a very good example, our SaaS internal developer platform only has the WSO2 API gateway. With the open source one, we have the K gateway out of the box, but you can bring in either WSO2 API gateway or Kong or Taiko, whichever one you prefer. It caters for two teams, kind of like two personas. One on the left-hand side of my screen, which is the platform teams, who are the ones who operate, manage, and kind of put guardrails around for the developers to make their life easier. And on the other side is the software teams, where they actually build stuff, create stuff, and deploy, etc. And with the guardrails provided by the platform teams. Under the hood, what's under the hood? So you can see there are a lot of open source projects that we have used. Some of the things that we have, done it ground up, but there were really, really good open source projects that we really didn't need to go and reinvent the wheel. For example, like OpenSearch for the observability part. We have recently had OpenObserve. They actually, if you guys haven't heard about it, go try them as well. The log compression is very, very high compared to some of the other tooling. They actually boast about 1/10 of what Datadog would use. So, if your organization concerned about Datadog or similar tools that actually consume a lot of logs and a lot of dollars, that's actually a really, really good, cool open source project to take a look at it. So the concept of OpenChoreo is you have the control plane. All these are Kubernetes clusters. They don't have to be completely separate Kubernetes clusters, but typically from a production and enterprise grade deployment, you would separate them out so you can assign different duties to it, responsibilities to it, and importantly, you can scale them the way you want. But The today I'm actually running on my laptop. So that's another thing we did. We actually made it OpenChoreo very, very lightweight. So you can actually get going even with your laptop to evaluate. Obviously, you can run it on EKS. You can run it on any other public clouds. So on the control plane side, there are a few components that are running, and most of them are internally built. But like I said, like we are using things like K-Gateway, which is kind of native to Kubernetes, out of the box. And out of the box, the ones that I'm going to be talking about, especially on this topic today, is the SRE agent, which will look at the observability stuff and analyze what's going on and generate a report. Finox agent. This is not important if I'm running on my laptop. So I'm going to be possibly doing a simulation if I can demo it today. But it's very important when you're running in the public cloud. I know some of the cloud providers like Google Cloud and even AWS is getting into providing you some cost guidance, but this is done very, very independently from that. So you can actually have an independent opinion as to whether this actually works better or what they provide is actually better for you. And that's also driven by a community project. The back of it is OpenCost, which is the same one that is used by KubeCost as well. And then recently they have also added another agent called Portal Agent, which I will demonstrate to you today. So there are multiple ways you can access the control plane. You can access the UI, which I'm going to show you today. You can also use MCP. I don't have that demo today, but I did an internal demo, which kind of I build like a like something like Replit, basically, right? Where you can go and build a wipe code, and that talks to the OpenChoreo using the MCP server to do the deployment, etc., and go create the resources. You can also use the CLI or you can use the API. And all these resources, everything that you create gets into a GitHub, right? So you have the kind of like the GitHub framework built into it as well, right? Out of the box for the identity and access management, and we offer the WSO2 Thunder, which is a completely open source project. Again, this one we're thinking of donating to the European open source community. Again, you don't have to use that. You can use anything that you would use as far as the O2 and ODIC compliant. Workflow plane is where you run your CI pipelines. Out of the box, you have Argo workflows and the cloud native build plugs in. But if you have, there are plugins available for the GitHub Actions and also Jenkins. So what we have is what we call is like a community catalog. Some of them are curated by the team as well to make sure they are kind of compliant. But the community can also go and take the template and build themselves as well. So it's very, very flexible compared to our the SaaS version we had, which is the V2. It supports any kind of container registry and also key vaults, etc. Data plane is where you run your workloads. We took 𝐏𝐑𝐑 to do the scale to zero. 𝐏𝐏𝐑 had scale to zero from many aspects in terms of mostly in event driven, but they didn't have like HTTP. So we have added that as well and contributed back to the community. So if you're interested, have a chat to me. I'm happy to connect with the team. And then the observability plane, right? Now all these are out of the box, like I said, you don't have to use all these planes. Obviously, if you're using Splunk or New Relic or even Datadog, you can just use the Fluent bit to ship the logs, right? So that's kind of under the hood, really, really high level 5-minute speech of what Choreo is. So what you get from OpenChoreo is you get a modular architecture, you get platform APIs if you're doing lots of automation with other tooling, you get abstractions for developers as well as for your platform engineers, and you have built-in agents and you can do agentic development, etc. as well. One other product that we released, I don't have a slide on it, which is if you're going to be managing agents at scale, you can bring our agent manager on top of OpenChoreo. And what that means is when you do, when you run agents, you can put guardrails around them, and you can figure out, you know, are they doing the right thing? Are they actually talking the right LLMs, etc. And not only that, you can also do like evals. You can run and see the model that performs really, really well last week for this particular task. Is it doing the same thing this week as well? Happy to do another session on that. That's also 100% open source. If you guys need the link, etc., let me know, and I'm happy to share that. Yeah, this is the catalog I was talking about. So there are lots of external projects that are getting created as modules that you can actually plug into OpenChoreo. So if there are stuff that's not there, you can obviously tell the project, you can participate in the project and bring them in as well. There are some stuff that we verify and validate, and there are lots of stuff community driven, right? And obviously, if your organization or your startup has a specific need, you can also build your own stuff as well. Okay, so agents. The topic of today is the agents running in OpenChoreo as first class, right? So what are the agents we have today out of the box? Actually, there is one core agent which is called the cluster agent, which is the one that uses the MCP server when you want to do deployments and things like that. That is core part of the agents within Choreo. You can't kind of decouple that part. So that hence why we haven't actually listed that one here. But in terms of the other agent that are optional for you to run, the SRE agent, like I said, I'll go into a little bit of detail of what the SRE agent is, and the FinOps agents. 𝐼𝐀𝐒𝐑 agent is in the workings, and the additional one that we got recently added is a portal agent, which is only a read-only agent where you can query things like that, but it can't go and really make any changes in the environment. Whereas SRE agent and FinOps agent can actually go and make changes in the environment. If I'm lucky today, I've been running it for a while. If I'm actually getting the stuff, I should be able to show you, but otherwise, let's see how we go. Right. And in terms of the connectivity, for example, SRE agents work closely with the FinOps agent as well, because the FinOps agent might come and say, okay, you are actually burning too much. You actually assign more resources than you need. And the SRE agent would go and adjust the resources. Right. The 𝐼𝐀𝐒𝐑 agent, what it's supposed to do is like look at if you have, for example, let's say 3 microservices running, and one microservice is hitting a database, and you wanted to know that what are the failure mode analysis, and the 𝐼𝐀𝐒𝐑 agent would tell you that, you know, on a certain TPS, you're going to have a bottleneck here, right? Things like that. Like it's like more like a chief architect of your platform come and actually tell you things, and then the next step would be to, if you trust enough of it, then you can tell the agent to go make changes as well. So the portal agent, what is the portal agent? The portal agent is an, at the moment, whole of OpenChoreo support OpenAI out of the box, but they do use LangChain to make the connections. So anything OpenAI compatible, you should be able to use it. I haven't tried others, but I know the team members have tried Gemini and Claude, etc. Anthropic APIs. Version 1.1.1.2, they told me yesterday that they're actually going to make it so simple so you can practically use any LLMs you like, and even the local LLMs, right? I mean, today also you can do that under the hood because it's open source. If you want to look at how we connect to the backend LLM, you can go and actually configure it yourself as well. Right? So what this does is actually when things are happening in your platform, you can actually go and query. So let me jump onto a quick live demo, fingers crossed. Any questions, by the way, while I'm jumping into the demo?
Question? No? Everyone all good? That's great.
Everyone understood what I said, right? Can you change it? Ah, great. Okay. Can you guys see? So this one, obviously, I tried to actually manually create an error. It didn't happen, but lucky for me, actually got one created. I ran, but by the way, I don't know whether the Wi-Fi or something is slow. It took a while actually to, talk to the OpenAI. I firstly thought that maybe AWS has a blocked talking to the backend AI tooling. So when there are when you go through logs, for example, or even for metrics, etc., you can now start asking questions. And I clicked especially on this particular error, and I wanted to know why it was triggered, right? So this is just like I said, read-only stuff, right? It doesn't really go. If I actually go back, I can show you what are the other options available, or you could actually even ask or message and ask things as well. So it actually has gone through the logs and figured out the front end was blocked by a downstream another service, and that's why it actually took a while to or started failing rather, right? So, I mean, it's not 100% accurate what the LLM would tell you all the time. But what we have seen is like over time, if you keep actually asking similar kind of stuff, it's get better. And the other good news is if you are running your own models, you can actually feed them and train it too, right? So this is one of the simple tasks, obviously. Helpful for SREs and other engineers where you're looking at, I don't know what the hell is this error means. And sometimes it's not easy, right? I mean, when you're like, this is the Google Shop microservices demo. It has about 12 microservices. Now imagine like you have like thousands of microservices and you can't know every single log, right? Let me go back to the slide again. Like if you don't, I think I'm not, this is not hard coded. If you do want to, I can ask a question too. You want me to ask a question or it might take a while? Okay, but silence says no, so I'll go ahead. Yeah, so this is basically, I was picking up yesterday screenshot. Luckily I had like managed to get 2 errors created and ask the portal agent as to what's going on. The second agent we have is the SRE agent. So the SRE agent is basically look at what's happening in your system, what are the events triggering, what are the alerts that are coming up. And then when you go, if some of these things happening, you can go to, which I will go in a minute as well. If I have been running long enough and my parameters are correct, I should be able to show you a live report as well. So it will go through and show you a live report, and then this is a read and write agent. What that means is you can actually tell the agent to go apply the changes, right? So it will come up with recommendations as to saying, something has gone wrong. One of the demos where we had was we actually gone and changed the name of the database. So it can't talk to the database, and it will come up and say that you have done a typo or you have mistakenly misconfigured the database. Do you want me to go and fix it, right? And what it will do is then it will go fix it, and then it will use the MCP server in the OpenChoreo to do the redeployment. And you can do this on the lower environment to trial it out, guys, by the way. You don't have to jump straight into the production to trial it out. You can trial it out in the low environment, so you can simulate some of the stuff and then obviously apply into the production as well. And the other beauty is you can actually do it at the lowest level, like you can do it at the microservice level, or you can do it at the project level, or the platform engineers can apply if things are happening in the environment level, right? So they can do an override on the environment level and say, if certain things are happening on this particular environment, for example, let's say, somebody is deploying and that their deployment is crashing, right? For them to, go automatically figure out as to what's happening. Let me switch to the screen. No guarantees, but let me see if I have enough data. So this is the project, the microservices project. So if I one up, this keep coming. So as I said earlier, this would probably be a better diagram to show. So these are all the microservices in the in this project, and you can see the dependencies. The previous error you saw that was happening in the front end. I think it was one of these other microservices that was failing. I think it was the checkout microservice or this particular microservice that was failing. Yeah, ads microservice that was failing, had a dependency on it, and that's why it couldn't get started. Now, if there are any, so what I did was I actually artificially created some stuff, hopefully to capture the data. If it has already captured the data, I should be able to go into the RCA reports. Okay, I haven't got any. Right. Let me just see if I can get a little bit longer. Yeah. So unfortunately, I haven't been running long enough to capture the data. What I did was, I'll show you what I did. Quickly go back. So I picked one component in here, the product catalog, and I said, oops. How do I move this thing? Yeah. How do I move this bar? Okay, figured out. Thanks. In the component, I set a observability rule. I said, if this particular component went into high memory, I say it's a critical one, and create an alert, right? And if we had captured enough data in that particular window to do that, then the alert would get kicked in, and then I would see the metrics, right? So unfortunately, I haven't been running long enough to get the data. So if I go back, to the project, that's why I can't unfortunately see the RCA reports, because there are no incident that got created. So let's. I hope you guys believe me. This is actually happening. This is how I had taken the screenshot previously. The next agent. Sorry, my bad. Kept the same name. It's the FinOps agent. So the FinOps agent is basically capturing the data. In this case, it doesn't really make a lot of sense because I'm running on my laptop, so I'm kind of giving them arbitrary values as to what the CPU and memory looks like. Again, once you ran it for a while, if it has exceeded the cost threshold that I have put, it will come back and give me the recommendations as to what need to be done. Right? It would tell you, I have over allocated the CPU or the RAM, even though the actual utilization is much lower. Let's try that one out as well, but I doubt I have got enough data to show you the FinOps. FinOps comes under cost analysis. Yeah, not enough data. Yeah. So if I go back to the actual component where I applied that, so these are like what we call trades when you're applying at the component level. So if I go back to the component, in this case was the Redis component. I go look at what I have added. So I have added a budget alert, and I said capture the data every minute and a threshold of I think this is 2%. In a 2 minutes window, when they alert me when the threshold reaches a budget of $2, right? I think what's happening is that I have allocated very low values for the laptop. I should increase the values. That way it will come up. The 2% is not going to be a lot, right? So it should come up. So you can configure these agents whichever you want. The only external dependency outside of the project for the FinOps agent is the OpenChoreo. Instructions are there. Of course, you can go install the OpenChoreo, run it. What I suggest is things like the FinOps. If you really want to try it out in a like EKS cluster or a 𝐍𝐄𝐒 or something like that, because then you're really getting the real data, right? Because otherwise you're simulating. If you're showing it to someone, it's okay. But ideally, what you should be doing is actually do a real-time one. And this is the app that basically runs the Google storefront microservices. I just want to make sure, show you that it is actually running on the cluster as well. Back to the slides. I think I have only a couple of more slides. Yeah. I didn't set it up for the MCP server because that wasn't part of the today's talk. But if you are, here is an example of how you actually can set it up. You can practically start from scratch, or you can, if something is already deployed into the environment, you can connect up with Claude or Gemini or so on and so forth, whatever the ones that, even Cursor that supports MCP, and you can practically use that as your development platform. Right? Lastly, I think probably end of mine. Yeah. Quick start guide. You can get it going in about 10 minutes. If you are going to be trialing some of these agents, I suggest that have at least 1 or 2 clusters. It could be K3s clusters. That's fine. If your laptop is not like mine, I only got like 16 gig. Yeah, like 32 gig or something like that. You can easily run, 3-node K3s cluster, and that way you actually get the real operational view, even without burning any money in the cloud. One other thing that we are actually also trying to help is if you have Kubernetes projects that are not running in an internal developer platform, that you can point to it, to the Git repository, and the next generation of AI agents will go analyze and then convert that, which is how we have similarly how we have done the Google one, right? Because there are certain, obviously, Kubernetes manifests need to be applied, and this will kind of help you to do that migration as well. Yeah, I think that's about it. One last thing I could ask is if you haven't followed us, or if you haven't given us a star on OpenChoreo, if you haven't tried, this is the URL. Go try it out. It only takes like 15-20 minutes for you to try it out. And if you like to contribute, please do become a contributor. There are few external contributors that are coming up from different companies. SUSE is one of them. So yeah, we love to get external contribution. It's not just WSO2 project. It's a community project now.
Awesome.
The CNCF graduate project right now, or
It's a sandbox project. Yeah, you go through sandbox and then there's another stage and then graduate. Yeah. It takes about 2 years to graduate, to be honest. Yeah.
Let's give Kanchana a round of applause. And we are a little bit behind. Any questions?
how does it handle security? How does it handle security?
Hold on. Stop the recording. Yeah.
How does it handle security and all?
Yeah,
Is it
so
enough mature?
different levels. So if you're talking about people accessing and doing stuff on it, right? The slide that I showed you helps you to do IAM level of security with.
Do we have a RBAC also?
Yeah. So 100% the out of the box Thunder, WSO2 Thunder project provide all the RBAC capabilities and everything, and you can go define in the backend as well as to different roles, different groups, etc. Right? Yeah. But if you already have your own O2 and ODIC compatible ones, you can plug them in as well.
I might add. So basically, the identity is pluggable. You can plug any identity, but the RBAC system is inbuilt in the control plane. So we have come up with a RBAC plus an ABAC system, which is sits well with our system because we have a lot of levels. So most Ps want to control at different levels, right? Some Ps want to give developers project level, org level, or even down to deployments. So our RBAC is very native, and we also using Caspian. It's an open source solution. So yeah, but like I said, even though the IAM is pluggable, the RBAC part is pretty big because you can't make it. It is opinionated in the day, right? Yeah, but you can check it out. Yeah, and also with the ABAC stuff, you can keep on contributing because ABAC was a incoming thing because of a lot of these environment level controls you want, stuff like that. Yeah, so you can also check that out. We have a separate section for how you configure it. Yeah, thanks.
But by the way, up until last week, he was one of the engineers, senior engineers at the Korea project. He moved to Australia and he left us. No, he's just joking. I think his wife here doing a PhD, so he moved because of that. But he was one of the engineers.
Yeah, time-wise, we might be able to answer one more question. Yeah.
How are you validating that your FinOps agent is actually saving money?
How do we validate the FinOps agent is?
Actually saving money instead of burning more tokens for running the FinOps agent?
Very, very good question. Do you have any answers for that? Or I have to probably go and check the AI team, right? Yeah. So the way we ran the FinOps before the LLMs, right? We ran algorithmic based FinOps calculation, right? We did not connect to any LLMs in the backend, right? Now that the LLM is included, I'm going to take that question back to our AI team. I'll come back to you. Very good question.
And how are agents authenticating into the system?
Agents are authenticated with the same IAM that you set it up.
Thank you so much, Kanchana. Yeah, let's give him a round of applause again. Yeah, thank you very much. Before I'm going to invite the second speaker, I really want to remind everyone, our community exists because of all of your support, okay? If you don't mind, please visit our website, KSUG.AI. I'm going to quickly to show you where to find the stuff. So first of all, you can see the latest discount code. We already mentioned earlier. So this is our community events. We're going to have a guy. His name is what's his name? Stanislav. He is also one of the very early fully certified on Kubernetes, fully certified on AWS as well. You see the golden jacket. And he's going to give us a sharing session talking about his journey, how he become a kubestrong, the AWS strong, and now he's also FinOps certified. He's one of the very first guy from our community also did the FinOps. Okay, so also part of our event, we normally give away free certification modules. Okay, invite you guys to join us. You just click the picture. Okay, so we do have a carousel. We got 3 pictures. Here's a blue jacket you can see here. And then we have the free certification modules give away to support everyone. You click the link, actually it's a link. It's a form. You fill out the form, you can participate our community support community campaign, okay? And move down a little bit, you can find all of our upcoming events. So our next one I mentioned earlier, yes, July 15th, that's a Sydney, okay? You need to check our Melbourne one, Singapore, we got the 22nd. And then Melbourne, we got the 5th August. Just below that, that's our event photo album. Okay, we do need your support. Yeah, you can help us. You can upload your photos, and then you can download the photos as well. It's kind of like almost live. Okay, when I take photos, I upload immediately. You can find all the photos, and also I believe some of these are uploaded by our friends as well. Okay, yeah, thank you very much for your support. And how to become a speaker, it's from here, okay? And sponsor, volunteer. We also feature some of the global conferences here. You might join some of KubeCon events. We got a discount code to support you. Learn something new. You don't want to spend much more money. CNCF actually have quite a lot of the free learning resources. And I also feature some of our community friends, learning resources here, learn AI, learn any other stuff, okay? I mentioned earlier, you can follow all of our LinkedIn pages here, our community. In the plus, in the bottom, you can connect to my LinkedIn, okay? The middle one, you can connect. The right one, you can only follow, okay? Okay, with that, let me invite our second speaker. His talk is about the open source project Podplane. Yeah, let's invite Ryan to the stage. Let's give him a round of applause.
How's everyone doing?
Good.
Come on, guys. Wednesday night, 7 o'clock, start of a new financial year. How's everyone going? There we go. All right. I'm going to ask a few questions and hoping to get some interaction. So I'm Ryan. I worked as an engineer at Cloudflare and ran their developer tools team. I was responsible for CI/CD for the entire dev team and was there when we rolled out Kubernetes. I came back to Melbourne and joined Xero and ran a bunch of DevOps enablement teams while we were also rolling out Kubernetes. And then I went on to a CTO role and rolled out EKS myself. And the experience that I've had with Kubernetes was that I saw the power of it, I saw the strength of the community, the ecosystem, but for a lot of use cases, particularly for startups or hobbyists, and even smaller, medium businesses, Kubernetes brought a lot of complexity. And you've got proprietary platforms out there like Versal or whatever else. They're best in class in terms of UX or developer experience, but they're proprietary. They cost a lot of money. They kind of lock you in. And I saw these two worlds and I was like, well, the business decisions that people are making, startups are making, is that they're going to opt for this proprietary thing. But we have this really cool open source ecosystem. So what solutions do we have? Now we have K3s and a bunch of tools to run small clusters locally or on a few nodes. But those solutions, they don't really scale into large production clusters. And then we have some awesome things like OpenChoreo, right? Where you take EKS and it can help you to roll out an internal developer platform. There's not really a solution that gives you that best-in-class developer experience that can scale from your laptop into a few VMs running on AWS into a large cluster, maybe something you pull on-prem. And so that's the problem that Podplane is trying to achieve. This is a new community project. It's fully open source, Apache 2 licensed. The plan is long-term to look at the CNCF sandbox. Should there be community interest in that? There is a process for that. So I'm already kind of starting the preparation for that. And the goal here really is, this is probably the third talk in a matter of weeks where I've kind of shared the functionality. This is very, very new. It's not a 1.0 release yet. One of the features I hope to demonstrate tonight started working 15 minutes before I arrived. So go easy, demo gods, please. But I want to show you kind of where this project is at and hopefully give you a look at where it's going directionally. So the first thing I want to do is just, by the way, I don't have slides. This is a live demo and I want to offer kind of Q&A, so get some audience participation involved. But what I'm going to show you is the local clusters. So it's one command that you run. So this is 18 seconds in, 20 seconds in, and the Kubernetes cluster is actually live, right? So this is created, you don't need Docker installed or Podman or anything. This launches a QEMU VM with a base Debian image, runs a small cloud init script, and gets the Kubernetes cluster up and running in 20 seconds. So you have a bare, Podplane can do bare Kubernetes clusters in 20 seconds locally. But by default, if you don't say you want a bare cluster, it's going to give you a PaaS cluster. So it's going to build in all of those typical components that you would like to see in order to deploy an app. So for people that aren't Kubernetes experts that just want to deploy an app like you would on a proprietary, PaaS platform, that's exactly what you can do built in. And so this is the local start command. It's 1 minute and 13 seconds in. It says there's 1 minute and 24 seconds remaining. I think it might be going a bit quicker. And on the right-hand side, you can see progress, how we're doing. So it's set up Cilium CNI, Cert Manager, Traffic Ingress Controller. It tested that kubectl works. It's already wired it up. It uses OIDC for authentication. Doesn't use any kind of short-lived or long-lived static credentials. Everything is using things that I've used in production with Kubernetes over the years that are proven. There we go. Look at that. No clapping for the animation. Come on. Okay, so our cluster's up and running, and it gives us this little deploy command. It also says after deploy this URL, will show you your app. So I'm just going to show you, if I go to that URL, refresh, okay, page not found. So this is what traffic ingress controller will show you if there's no route registered. So run the deploy command. This is using a standard Helm chart. The CLI just wraps Helm. The goal with everything in the CLI is to just wrap the most common tools that you're using, so you can actually just use Helm if you would like. The Helm chart is published in open source, obviously. So it says that your app is available. If we refresh, hey, we've got our Hello World application. Just to prove to you, there we go. Prove to you it's a live demo. So we can put any message we want in here. Let's just put in a random emoji. Hopefully emojis work. So it, like a Docker run command, for example, you can just pass in an environment variable. I wanted that kind of user experience. So in the deploy command, you just pass -e and your environment variable. And this demo hello app that I created lets you pass in hello_message. If I refresh, to see that the environment variable was deployed into the application. As you can see, everything's pretty quick. This is just like stock standard Kubernetes tools with a bit of new stuff under the hood, which I can get into. If you want to deploy your own app, what does that experience look like? So I just got a coding agent to whip up a demo application today. Let's see. I don't know if anyone knows Go, but this is like a pretty basic example of a Go program. There's a greeting, a HTML template, and it's a web server that just renders that template. There's a container file or Docker file that just compiles this application, copies it into a Scratch container, and a make file with build command and a run command. So if I do make build, you can see it's just run Docker build. I'm using Podman. It's a Docker wrapper. And if I do make run, it's just going to do a Docker run command and expose port 80 as port 8080 on my host machine. So if I go to port 8080 localhost, you can see that 𝐑𝐏 message. So I built and run a Docker container locally as a developer. Now I need to get it into my cluster. And now this is just a local cluster, but I just want to show, so it's got a built-in container registry. It's using 𝐸OT registry, which I only learned about a few months ago. Originally, the plan was to use the CNCF distribution, which is the new name of the former open source Docker registry project. But the goal with Podplane is to make everything run on object storage. And I'll get into what that means in a minute. But 𝐸OT registry both is a really cool open source CNCF sandbox project. I think it's sandbox. And it works really well with storing your artifacts, your OCI, container images or whatever else artifacts you want to store. It stores it in object storage in the same format, the OCI image specification format, that it transfers it on the wire. So there's a bunch of reasons why that's really cool, but that's why I chose 𝐸OT registry. It's an established open source CNCF project, but yeah, it's built in. So if you do Podplane push, this is the new feature. So, all right, there we go. It's a tiny Scratch image, so it's super quick. So the reason why this is a little bit, this developer experience needs to improve. Like I said, it's brand new. But what it's actually doing here is using Kubernetes port forwarding from my machine into the cluster. So you don't need to expose your registry publicly. It uses all your RBAC controls and authentication to your Kubernetes API, does the port forward, and 𝐍𝐄𝐕𝐄𝐑 actually looks at the OIDC token presented through Kube API server and validates that for RBAC. So you can put Kubernetes 𝐍𝐄 registry RBAC policies on which of your users or groups can create images or update or delete images and under what registry namespaces or repositories, as they're called. So it gives me the container URL, and I can deploy that using my same Podplane deploy command. So as you can see here, it's at the default registry apps, my app. And if I hit deploy, hopefully, if I go to this and refresh, look at that. So I've just deployed a new image into the cluster. Yeah, be happy that worked, to be honest. I might just stop and see if anyone has any questions. Yes. Oops.
Running on port 5000. Your container registry is running on port 5000.
That's the port it's forwarding to. So it's not exposed through ingress. The service is running on port 5000.
And what is this 51554? Why are you forwarding your port, localhost port 51554 to that CI
I
registry?
believe that's just a random port that 𝐒𝐓𝐑𝐏 has selected with the port forward.
Okay.
So you can actually, there's a feature that you can enable where it turns on ingress for the registry built in. It will still use OIDC, but it means that you can use the standard Docker push command. And there's a operator built in, which has the Docker auths token service. It does that so that it's like a compatibility layer. So you can still use Docker push. You can still use the standard ingress that you would use for a registry. But this is kind of the preferred way. It's kind of more locked down. Yeah, less to worry about. You don't have to worry about someone DDoSing your container registry, for example.
What was the name of the registry you said?
𝐍𝐄𝐕𝐄𝐑, Z-O-T. It's 𝐍𝐄 registry. You can check out like all of this stuff. As I said, it's open source. The Podplane website, it's going to need a lot of work. There's like not pages that describe the features right now. It's kind of all thrown into a single hierarchy because I'm still actively building out some of the features ahead of a 1.0 release. But it's quite well documented. The process that I've gone through with designing this is to kind of do documentation first. A, because that helps with my clarity and design, but B, it also helps when you use coding agents because it can reference that of how it's intended to work. Yeah, all of these things, like the components that run in the cluster, it explains about you can use no components, which is your bare cluster that can start in 20 seconds. You can use minimal, which basically gives you the things that like an EKS cluster by default will have. So your CNI, core DNS, and then recommended, which is like the default has experience that bundles in the registry and all that stuff. And then it outlines, you know, what components are included, what add-on components are there, like Cert Manager. It's got the new agent sandbox, which is really cool. So there's a bunch of agent functionality that I'm currently seeking feedback on the developer experience for, but looking to build that in later this month. So that'll let you run coding agents in a cluster. All of that's kind of documented on the website. So Podplane.dev. One thing I will show you is, so that works locally. Local clusters work right now. There's a new feature, secrets management, which is built but buggy, so I'm not going to demo it. But Podplane secrets. Sorry, I'm slow to type with one hand. Oh, sorry, secret. Has, create, update, list, delete, restore, destroy. So when you set up a local cluster, the local cluster does a few things to mean that the VM that runs is configured the same way that your production VMs are configured, but it like mocks local services. It has like a fake S3. It has a fake OIDC server. That means you don't have to like do a crazy login or run like a DEX server or anything. And the new thing is it has a fake Vault or OpenBow server, which is a secrets management solution. And so in production, you can use Vault or OpenBow. You can choose Secrets Manager on AWS or Parameter Store. You can use GCP Secrets Manager. If you're running a Proxmox cluster, you'd probably use OpenBow or Vault. So this solution is designed to be the same user experience for developers, no matter what backend store the infrastructure team, platform team has selected. And so you can do secrets create. Actually, the experience for this is documented. If you want to install this, by the way, it's like Homebrew, or you can just use Go to install it if you're on Linux. Someone tested it today, which was lovely. But yeah, the secrets experience is essentially you create a secret like this. You say, what is the application name? So we deployed a Hello app. And what's the key we want to use? You can either pass it in through standard in, read it from a file, or it will prompt your terminal. You're not allowed to set it as like a argument to the command because it'll end up in your bash history. So there's a lot of things like this that are using secure defaults. And then when you use the deploy command, you just say what secret you want to mount, and it will become available to the application at a default path, which is var run podplane secrets and then the key of your secret. Under the hood, this uses secret store CSI driver. Bit of a mouthful. If anyone hasn't heard of this, definitely check it out. It's one of the few secrets solutions for Kubernetes, which does not store the secret in etcd. So there are a lot of reasons why you don't want your secrets stored in etcd, right? They can end up in like a backup that someone compromises and now they have access to your secrets. Lots of reasons. People might obtain access to a Kube API server and be able to just read the secret out of Kube API server if they have the right access. So we don't do that. We use secret store CSI driver to mount the secret from the backend store. The thing that Podplane offers is this nice CLI experience for creating those and standard Kubernetes RBAC around those resources. So you can say this dev team has the ability to create and manage secrets for this particular namespace or this particular service account this particular namespace, I guess. You can allow them to create but not update. You can allow them to create and update but not destroy, for example. So secrets is going to be really good feature. I expect this to land either tomorrow or Friday. When I say land, it's already landed, it just doesn't work. And the next thing I want
how the secret rotation can be handled?
That someone coming through the speaker? I couldn't quite hear that.
Yeah, sorry. So just on the secrets part, so how the secrets rotation can be handled?
Someone else.
I think he's asking about how the secret rotation is handled.
Yeah, so because how is the secret rotation handled? Because you're using a secrets backend, you get the full functionality of that backend. So if you're using OpenBow or Vault, it can handle secrets rotation for you. This is more about you do have a pathway for developers to be able to create, update, or whatever your secrets. with RBAC around that, and also an easy way for those secrets to be mounted into deployed applications. The RBAC, the other thing that is built in to make it easier for people is some default groups, which just maps or binds, I should say, the built-in Kubernetes roles to some default groups. So if you deploy an OIDC server, you can just specify these groups, and you don't have to figure out, how do I set all this stuff up? It just comes with kind of some nice defaults. You don't have to use these, you can switch them off, but it is there just to simplify things for the common use case. And that's kind of the crux of how a lot of this stuff works with Podplane. That's kind of the philosophy, is that it builds in a lot of the secure, sane defaults, all those kind of nice conventions, but everything is kind of opt-in. It kind of opts you in by default, but you can easily undo or opt out of those things. And if you have opted in, you can also easily customize each of those things, all the way down to, templates. So for example, when I deployed the web template, that's just a repository called templates under the web directory. This is a Helm chart with a simple values file that follows a set of conventions. This is probably a good time to mention the demo I just showed you of the local VM. I was actually going to demo it with my Wi-Fi switched off, but I didn't realize I needed Zoom, so I unfortunately couldn't do that. But it works fully offline. So if you're jumping on a flight, you can start up a fresh cluster, build and deploy your app, and everything's there offline. So every single dependency that goes into running your cluster can be downloaded onto your machine ahead of time. There's a little command called deps download. It does that. And so each of the different systems across the Podplane ecosystem, like these templates, they have manifests of the OCI images that they're using. So like this template defines these images, and then there's a system that kind of rolls all this up into a manifest, and then the command will go and fetch all of those, like pre-fetch all of those into a cache. And you can run multiple local VMs, and it's all serving off one set of downloads. So if you're like me and you have really great NBN connection in your office and at home that doesn't always work and is quite slow sometimes, it can run offline, and you don't have to be waiting every time you spin up a cluster for things to download for the 17th time that day. So I didn't start off trying to make an air gap solution. I built one purely through frustration of poor quality, slow internet. So yeah, fully offline. The one last thing to show you is the cluster create command. So this will run and will generate an OpenTofu or Terraform configuration, and it will offer to apply it if you would like. You can just say no and go and audit the configuration and change it yourself before you apply it. But it's like a setup wizard. So it says, do you have an OIDC issuer for this cluster? And if you already have one set up, you say yes, and you put the URL in. If you don't have one set up, it will deploy one for you. It's a Podplane sub-project called 𝐍𝐄𝐕𝐄𝐑. It can be deployed in one command, and there's like no operation for it. It's like a single config file. You can put a mapping of this Google user gets these groups claims when they log in. So you just say Podplane admins, and now when I log in through my Google credentials, I'm an admin. So it's quite straightforward, or you can reuse an existing OIDC cluster. The next step, it will ask you for a name, and it will generate a slug from that name, which you can change. Ask you, in this instance, I'm doing an AWS cluster. So what region, what profile would you like to use if you want one? Would you like recommended minimal or bare cluster? And you can choose to configure advanced networking options, which is like specifying a CIDR block and stuff like that if you want to get into it. CPU architecture, instance, and how many control plane nodes you want. You could say 1. Now, you finished inputting all of that information, and it went to generate the files, but it noticed that I'm running it from a directory that already has a bunch of files in it. So it said, hey, you want to continue in this directory, or do you want to create a new subdirectory so that you don't maybe put it in the wrong place? And then you put the directory path in, so it used the cluster slug, and now it's gone and generated the OpenTofu configuration and run tofu init, which is just like a standard command. And this will just pull in all of the modules and the Podplane provider. So this doesn't actually work when you try to deploy it. There's still a few bugs to iron out. I expect that to land by the end of next week. And what this is going to do is deploy a cluster in AWS with DNS, load balancer, NAT, auto scaling, everything built in. And this is what I mean. So it's done tofu init. It's asking, do I want to hit apply? In this case, I'm going to say no. So it's going to deploy a production cluster. The VM configuration that cluster uses is exactly the same VM configuration that runs on my local VM. The components that are deployed are exactly the same. There are a few options that are set for you instead of you inputting those options like your OADC issuer URL. It will use the local OADC issuer, but it's all the same stuff. So you're less likely to have an issue with production and staging and dev not being, parity with their configurations. And it boots really quickly, like 20 seconds for a node. It's using a standard Debian image. There's no custom images to push around. Debian is available on every major cloud provider. You can pixie boot it for your on-prem clusters. Like, it's really great. Obviously, it's open source. Yeah, that's the cloud clusters. We're going to get that one done by the end of next week. Any questions about cloud clusters? Man with the questions, let's get him a mic.
I had a question for, so now I forgot it. Sorry, just going back there with, you'd mentioned that all of the secrets, you've moved it out of etcd onto storage. Was there any other reasons other than security why that was?
So secrets aren't stored in object storage. Secrets are stored in a secrets provider of your choice. You can use AWS Secrets Manager or Parameter Store. You can use Google Cloud Secrets Manager, or you can use Vault, or the new non-IBM HashiCorp open source version, which is called OpenBOW. I've got it right, which is what we're emulating locally. Yes, I didn't explain object storage. Sorry, I will quickly mention. So, like, the website needs work, but the headline should probably read, Kubernetes on object storage. I don't know. I'm open to feedback. I would love anyone to join as a contributor. I can talk about how you can help in a little bit. So in order to make this run on object storage, there's a sub-project of the Podplane community project called netc. netc is an alternative to etcd that stores data in object storage. On a 1 or 2 node cluster, it is synchronously writing to object storage, which for a cluster of that size is actually, believe it or not, acceptable at the performance that current S3 solutions offer for write speed. And it means that you will never lose data. When you have 3 or more nodes, it can synchronously replicate across your nodes automatically. So it detects that there are 3 or more healthy nodes and switches to synchronous replication in a way that will safely make sure that you could lose 2 nodes and never lose your data. If it drops below 3 at any point, it will switch back to synchronous replication. So the idea of this thing is to try and be as indestructible as you can make a distributed system. It does not use Raft. It uses a replication protocol that is very similar to Postgres streaming synchronous replication. So it is a proven approach to making it scale. It's just a different way of doing things, right? It's etcd on object storage is this the headline way to explain it. It implements the subset of etcd API that you need for Kubernetes, and you can use it for a general application, not just Kubernetes. It's rolling out the projects here. Instance is a autoscaler. It's kind of like everyone's hopefully knows about Carpenter. So the problem it solves is if you've ever had a AWS autoscaling group trying to bring up a VM for you or EC2 for you during a production incident, you might have had to sweat for a little bit of time for an indeterminate amount of time. You don't know what is actually happening. You're waiting around for the VM to be scheduled, let alone boot. This will replace your VM in 1 second or less. It's like millisecond. I haven't actually measured it. That's the next thing to do. It's very quick. This means that if you run your cluster on spot instances, it actually has an agent running on each machine, which will detect the spot instance shutdown or termination notification, which gives you 2 minutes notice on AWS. Within 1 second, a new EC2 will be spawned. It'll take about 20 seconds for that new EC2 to boot up and join the cluster. And then your pods will start moving across to it. So you've got plenty, you've got a minute and call it a minute and a half for your pods to migrate across. And then it obviously gets shut down, the old one. So it can do a bunch of stuff like that. You can annotate a pod and it will spin up a VM on demand just for that pod. There's a Kubernetes operator, which I'm yet to actually include in the set of things bundled into a Podplane cluster, but I will. And so, yeah, you can do a bunch of stuff. And this is how certificate issuance happens on each VM in the cluster. So it's super fast. I won't bore you with the details. And 𝐍𝐄𝐕𝐄𝐑, probably the worst looking of the websites. They're all using Hextra, which is like the nicest Hugo static site generator theme, in my opinion. But yeah, they need some love. Form over function is the dream. So 𝐍𝐄𝐕𝐄𝐑 kind of explains, I don't know, why you might want to use it over something like Dex. Shows you a demo. You can run through this as like a nice exercise of learning OADC, to be honest. And shows you how to do like kube login as a little CLI tool that does opens the browser, lets you log in with Google Auth or whatever and prints out a token. So Podplane does a very similar thing to that. It's all about having a nice, easy user experience. You shouldn't need to know how this works as a developer. Yeah. If you want to read about how this has evolved, if you go to the Nadrama website, so Nadrama is my startup. I'm essentially like a DevOps and AI consultant, so helping businesses to figure out how to use AI and DevOps practices to ship things like faster. Hopefully using Podplane to run their infrastructure. But the blog details each of these things that I've built over time, and Podplane, it kind of outlines the vision for Podplane. So that's where I kind of post updates. Where I'd like to start posting updates if a number of people will join. There's a little link on the Podplane website to a new forum. I think I've got like 3 users or something. I don't even know where the users button is. There we go. Yeah, so if you want to join that, if I get, say, 10 people join, I'll start posting updates. You can DM me on this. You can use it from your phone. It's just the discourse online forum, which is a bit more inclusive, I think, than some of the new restricted platforms like Discord, asking for identity verification and creating walled gardens. So trying to be inclusive to the community here. But yeah, that's that. And yeah, if you like what I'm doing, I want to kind of show your support for the project. I'd love a GitHub star for the Podplane repo. You can either scan the QR code or go to github.com/podplane/podplane, which is the main repository. Yeah, I'd very much appreciate a GitHub star, seen as like a social signal. And so if you see this on Reddit when I eventually do a post and you land there and there's like 100 stars already, you probably give it a star. If there's like 2 stars, you might not. So I'm trying to get to 100 before I post on Reddit or push too hard on social media. So very much appreciate a GitHub star. Any other questions? Yeah, Rob.
Wait a second.
It's running out of battery. I'll speak
Big
loud. Have you looked at the assurance program, so Certified Kubernetes program?
Yeah, absolutely. I would like Podplane to become a listed Kubernetes distribution.
Yeah.
There's a set of conformance tests that need to be run against it in order to do that. If anyone wants to volunteer their time to do this for the project, I would love help with that. It's just one of the things on a list of things to do. Right now where it's at is there is a base set of what I call PaaS functionality. So what does a developer need to deploy their app? Locally, what do they need to deploy their app into AWS or Google Cloud? So the goal is to get that functionality built in. So the push command is done, secrets by the end of this week, get AWS, Google Cloud working, hopefully by the end of next week. Once that's done, that's the PaaS functionality done. The next goal is to build in the agents functionality, which I'm currently getting feedback off like a small group of test users. And so that will let you run any agent harness on the cluster with a bunch of stuff that you would expect to be there. It's kind of, if you look at all the cloud agent solutions in the market today, it's a similar story to like Versal, right? For your applications. I think they even have an agent solution now. Where it's proprietary, you don't know where it's hosted, you're not in control. So the goal is to put the Podplane touch onto agents and let you do cloud agents in a local VM or AWS, GCP, Proxmox clusters, and have a really great developer experience. And so the goal is to get that landed, maybe a preview this month or otherwise next month. So really excited to be working on that. That personally will solve my own problems. But the people that I'm working with in kind of the test group seem pretty excited. If you want to join that as well, just jump on the forum and be like, hey, let me check it out. Yeah, it's open source project. I'm keen to build a community. I'm in this for the long haul. This is not like, I did this thing with AI 2 weeks ago and like here it is. This is 2.5 years of full-time work. And I expect 2.5 years from now that I'll still be chipping away on it, hopefully with a much larger community. So I'm not going to stop until the UX is satisfying, and I'm really keen to get people involved and grow and foster a community and have an open source, truly open source offering for an easy to use PaaS and agent platform.
And no conformance tests yet.
Sorry?
So no conformance tests yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
But it sounds like you might be willing to help.
Oh. Maybe.
Thanks.
Anyone else has any question?
I don't expect there'll be issues with passing the conformance tests. I've tried very hard to make sure we're using stock standard Kubernetes features. Anything that's deprecated, not offering it from the get-go, switching off things that are like insecure defaults. There's a lot of stuff. We don't want to bring the weight of the past for the new clusters of the future, especially if you're abstracted. You can go and switch that stuff on if you need it, but yeah, don't build it in by default.
Hey, so a newer version of Kubernetes has released. How do Podplane handle, does it give developers to choose what version they have to work with?
Sorry, does it do?
Does it give developers a freedom to choose what version they can work on?
Of Kubernetes?
Yeah.
No. So the version is like specified by Kubernetes. I think people are going to want the latest version and a path to upgrading that's as easy as possible, ideally managed for them. The ability to opt out and maybe the ability to specify a version is something I consider. From I think it's like 1.26, probably onwards, it should work. There's not a whole heap of maybe there's like one or two new APIs. I have to think about it. But like if there's a specific version you want to support, join the forum, drop a note, I can check it out. But yeah, the plan is to like update it for you as much as possible. So it's got Flux CD built in, for example. So any of the charts that are already installed for you, we'll be able to continue to update. It's pinned to the 𝐒𝐓𝐑𝐏𝐄𝐑 v1. So if you don't choose to run it fully air-gapped, it should be able to just automatically update the latest versions of those charts. And it's like a true PaaS experience. If you choose to run it air-gapped, you basically control when that happens.
But what if my whole company was working on the older version?
I'd be shocked if you couldn't use the newer version. Yeah.
All right, guys, I know there are lots of questions.
I'll stick around. Like,
Yeah, but it's pretty late. Yeah, I want to test you guys before you guys go home. Okay, let's jump to the next part, do the quiz time. Before that, let's give him a pause. Thanks, Ryan, for coming here to share the latest open source projects.
There's some swag on the tables at the back.
Yes, don't forget the
There's
swags.
Coasters. It's unfortunately not Podplane. I haven't done that yet, but they're nice coasters. So, and stickers if you want those. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Ryan. So the next, we're going to have one of our volunteer, Gautam, is going to run the quiz. Hopefully not many questions this time, only 8 questions. Yeah, come over. Yeah, let's get started. And we do have some nice swags to give away. Yeah. While we are setting up this, I will show you what we have. First of all, let me see. Just bear with me. Let me log in. Okay. Hopefully, it's just an easy test. Only 8 questions, right? Yeah. I'm actually not kidding. Yeah, I got a 2 bag of this.
So-
Yeah, everyone can get something.
So this is the QR code. Then you need to scan and join the quiz. Has everyone joined? Okay.
How many joined? 18? We should have more, yeah? Yeah, we want to wait a few more seconds before you guys. We're going to 90 now. Anyone choose not to join?
I can't join. I got the question.
Come on, join us. Yeah, everyone eligible. We're going to 21, yeah. Anyone last minute are still joining? Yeah, if no one else, yeah, we will get started.
All right, so let's begin. So the first question is, which of these application solutions are open source internal developer platforms portals? So 43% option D, 33% option C. Let's move on to this next question. What agents are offered out of the box via OpenChoreo? Wow, 91% option D. That's great. So the third question is, what does OpenChoreo IDP use to establish zero trust? %43 option D. Let's see. That's the option E. Let's first see the leaderboard. Next shift is leading. So the fourth question is, which Podplane command creates and starts a local cluster virtual machine? That's a mixed answer. Let's see which one is the correct. Option B. Moving on to the fifth question, how long does it take to start a bare Kubernetes cluster with Podplane locally? %60 option A. That's correct. Which ingress controller is bundled in Podplane by default? Five seconds to go. Quite a mixed answer. Let's see which one is correct. Option C. Let's see the leaderboard first. Who is leading? 5 questions correct. That's quite impressive. What is the name of the KV store that Podplane Kubernetes cluster use for storing cluster state? We have got so many gifts today. 74% option C. Yeah, that's correct. So the final question, what's the most important thing you can do to support the Podplane project and community? Limitations. 96% of all of the above. So let's reveal the leaderboard. Mahesh, Dikshit, Binoy, 𝐅𝐀𝐒𝐑, Ranajit. Congratulations, everyone.
Congratulations, guys. Yeah, you guys did an awesome job. Who is the first? Yeah, come over. Yeah, we got some of the swags here. Yeah, most of these I joined some other conference. Yeah, feel free to choose whatever you like, and we do have a 50% for exam voucher as well. If you want to do Kubernetes, it's also one of the best spots. Haven't decided? Oh yeah, you pick up the best one. Oh, man. You want to take a photo? Yeah. Do LinkedIn post. Help. I'll come over here. Yeah. Thank you. All right, congratulations. Your name? How to pronounce your name? Mahesh.
Mahesh.
Mahesh. The second winner. Is that Nick Shi? Nick Shi? Oh, congratulations. Got anything in mind? Don't go away. Everyone can pick up something. Yeah. Yeah, I told you. Yeah. But the top prize, top winners gets the more choice. Okay. Oh, you pick up the second best one. Awesome. Congratulations. Yeah. Is that Binoy or Binoy? Binoy.
Binoy.
Binoy. Oh, congratulations. Yeah. What would you like? Oh, yeah. Of course. Yeah. Yeah, that's a nice one. Yeah. Squishy. Yeah. Pretty good. Congratulations. Who is 𝐅𝐀𝐒𝐓? 𝐅𝐀𝐒𝐓. Rob. Oh, congratulations. You're a constant winner, man. You're a frequent winner. And the Ronity also frequent winner. Congratulations, man. Yeah, thanks for coming. Yeah, which one you like? The Cloud Champion. Cloud Champion. I don't. All right. Let's do a photo. Thank you, buddy. Yeah, our next winner, Ronity. He's also a frequent winner, man. I don't know how many prizes you won from our community. On the mini family. All right. Okay. Congratulations again. Yeah. As I say, everyone can get something. Yeah. And for the rest, feel free to come over to grab whatever you like. Yeah. But yeah, we do have the option to see all the winners. So let's see. I think if we stop a poll, let's stop a poll. To lead the ball. I think stop. Oh, come on. It's not here. Where is it? I think we should be able to see some. Oh, no, let's do it again. Oh, never mind. Yeah, it's come over. Yeah, from the front, feel free to pick up whatever you guys like. I got some other small stuff here as well. Okay. If you guys don't mind, yeah, come over here. We do a group photo. Okay. Then you pick up all the swags from here. Is that all right? Thanks, everyone. Yeah, remember, follow our LinkedIn pages. Okay. And help us react, repost, comment. Okay, you can download all the photos, do the LinkedIn post, tag us. All right, guys, come over here. Let's do a photo. Yeah, I do a photo. Thank you, everyone. Next one, 5th August. 5th August. Yeah, please do join us.